Hello, Karthik. How are you?
Hello, Mira. How are you? I'm good. Thank you. How about you?
Great. So, first of all, thank you for taking time to just sort of. The idea is to be able to inspire my students from stories from all over the country. I have seen that students, professionals, everyone from different parts of the country have their own story to tell about their struggles with communication, their struggles with English. So, I just want to, what do you say? Put the story out into the world wherein students out there can get inspired. So here's one such story, and I'm eager to listen to it, Karthik. And I want to know more about you first. Can you just sort of elaborate on where are you from and a little bit about yourself, please?
Yeah. So, as you said, my name is Karthik, Karamsetti Karthik. I'm from Andhra Pradesh. I did my engineering. So, I will come back to this, like why I'm saying, like why I did my engineering in a local college in my hometown. Then I got job into TCS. So, I'm still with TCS for the last 13 years, an IT professional. And I traveled abroad, worked at client locations as well. And I've been into startup journey recently from the past 6 to 8 months. So I'm still in my job and I'm building a job startup in parallel, basically. So that's it more or less. I'm 34, married, have a kid, and settled in life, kind of.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So tell me, so you've reached to a place where and now you can say, okay, I'm settled. But
Yeah.
was this a long and arduous journey? Was there a lot of struggle?
Of course, I had struggles both with financial and communication. So that is why I agreed to talk to you basically so that it can inspire people, like they can relate to like where they are at this point of time and what are the possibilities to reach, where they can reach. And in fact, I don't have any problem to say that I have underachieved. So there is still a lot of scope to achieve. So it's all like, probably if I had the knowledge, if I had the awareness during my college days, I would have achieved more than like whatever I achieved now. That's what I would like to say. So that is what I intend to do from this discussion, probably. So if I am able to inspire at least one person who is in their 20s and struggling with something, say financial or some mentoring or money, whatever it could be. So probably what are the possibilities ahead of them? So how they should look at their life, probably. If I can help in that way, I'll be glad.
Great. So tell me a little bit about your schooling and your college days, especially pertaining to English.
Communication. Yeah. So basically, as I said, I did my engineering from my local town. So all my education throughout the school, college, the plus one, plus two, and the engineering happened in my hometown itself, apart from just 2 years outside for the sake of preparing for competitive exams and stuff. So more or less, I was in my hometown all throughout my education, basically. So the first 10 years of education was in a local convent, a school, makeshift school put up in a home, in a house, basically, of my teacher. So hall is, the living room is one class, the bedroom is one class, something like that. The veranda is another class, something like that. So we could hear the teachings of other class here and all, something like that. And same teacher teaching multiple subjects. So this is how my school was. I'm not undermining the school, and of course I'm grateful for the all education I received throughout my life. But I'm just giving a context. So
So
that is how my school was.
was it English medium school or a Telugu medium school?
That is what it is, an English medium school. But I don't consider it as an English medium school because we had English textbooks. So it was only like how the lessons were going on. I'm talking about first 10 years of my education, probably.
So
So it is
basically,
like,
namesake English.
yeah, namesake English medium. So teacher was reading the English textbook and they read the Telugu textbook, and whatever we understand, that's it. So we get some important questions. I know many people can relate, probably. So we get some important questions which come in exams, and somehow I passed, probably by heart at whatever it is. So this was my schooling until seventh standard, basically. So I got decent marks somehow. Probably not too much, not too bad. Of course, I couldn't read English well. Uh, this thing, so I by hearted like every word how I could read. Whatever my teacher said, that is how we learned. Like basically, we didn't know acronyms. We didn't know the that is we call it right. I dot E dot comma. So we by hearted like IE. So we by hearted like IE itself. So we write in the exam also like IE. We didn't know like that is what is the meaning it is referring to and all. So that is how it was. Then I happened to move to a better school, fortunately, thanks to my dad, why he took the decision. So I moved on to a better school from my 8th class to 10th class. That is where I saw the real world, I can say, probably like out of comfort zone. All the most of the students there are like they could read, speak English, and they can write essays also. They can write some paragraphs also. So the things were very difficult and different, frankly speaking. So what happened that point of time? I'm going with the flow. Sorry, you can if you have any questions, you can ask later. So it's like uh, I was getting better marks in all the subjects apart from English. So there were 4 or 5 people in my class just like that who came from other schools and who were just like me or something like that. So my correspondent, I am still grateful to him. So he noticed this pattern. Like, okay, these guys, special students are getting like good marks in other subjects, not in English, especially very bad in English. So we were not even aware of basic things like way to use in and at or something propositions or nothing basically. So we were getting very bad marks in English. So what happened? He decided to help us. So he put up a special study hours after our regular study hours. So I was going to school at 8:30 and study hours, including study hours, it was getting over by 6:37. We had another 1 hour of session with him only for English for a few months.
And he was your
Yeah, he
classmate?
taught us. Yeah. No, no,
Okay.
not my classmate, my correspondent, school's correspondent.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I should say, like where I have learned something about English. Previous to that, I was very, very afraid to speak because I don't know to pronounce also. There was a thing happening on a non-detailed English class in our school. So what the teacher used to do, he takes one textbook, non-detailed textbook, like Sherlock Holmes, whatever was there. So he was making each of the student read one paragraph from the start. Say student number one, first paragraph, however small, big, doesn't matter. Everybody has to read one paragraph standing in their place, basically. So that was the activity. That was the most scariest thing I ever faced till then. No, I was never afraid about marks or grades or something like that. So that kind of thing, standing up in front of class and reading out English was the most difficult thing I could ever think of at that point of time. Like there were instances where students laughed at me. So what I used to do, because most of the students are good in English because they were there in the same school from earlier years, something like that. So what I used to do, I used to count the number of people. So I used to understand what paragraph I'm going to get. And I used to ask the person beside me, like, okay, how to pronounce this word, this word, this word. Then I used to practice before my turn comes. So that difficult it was to just read out one paragraph. Probably I could have read like 70% correctly. What I'm trying to stress about is the insecurity, is the difficulty there.
Absolutely. So, I mean, this is not just your story, Karthik. I know I have been teaching students for so long, and I see it actually pulls their confidence down. Okay. So, they may be good, they may be smart, but still they feel uncomfortable to express their opinions. If they want to say something, they hesitate. And lack of confidence is one major thing which will affect everything else in their lives.
Yeah. Of course, I believe lack of confidence comes from some kind of insecurity in our lives. You know, it could be anything. So with respect to this topic, it is communication skills. What if I read wrongly? What if I cannot, I stop in between? Okay. It's not like we are not matured that much, that point of time, like, okay, sir, I don't know. Can you please help me to read it?
Correct, correct. So that is
So,
one thing, first thing I tell my students, it's okay if you don't know. You don't have to
yeah,
feel inferior or humiliated about it. It doesn't matter. It's just another language. It's become an important language. It's become the business language. But it's okay. You be proud of your own language. And if you make mistakes, bindas, go ahead and make mistakes. But say whatever you want to
Yeah.
say, is what I say. So
Yeah.
tell
Your
me another
students.
thing. What about at your workplace? How was it? What is the situation that you see around? Because I get to hear that a lot of engineers also, even after their engineering, even in their workplace, they struggle with English and they are not able to communicate even at the
Mm.
workplace. So what is
Yeah.
your opinion regarding that?
See, definitely because of that fortunate event happened, like how my correspondent identified us, like helped us. I I must say I was a better speaker among people in my office.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
because of that instance, what happened there. But it starts from the schooling or college, I must tell you, because the foundation is very important. The kind of confidence we get, the kind of insecurities we overcome in the school or college days, that plays a major role, like how your career is going to shape up. Basically, the point of saying is basically, if we are struck in English or communication or confidence in school days or college days itself, it is going to be at the same level how you are going to perform in your interviews. It is going to be the same level how you are, where you are getting placed,
But
and it is going to be the same with what kind of people you are going to get associated with as well.
mm-hmm.
you know the point of saying is I got placed in TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. At that point of time, that was a huge thing for me, because my bar was like low. Of course, I am humble, like I know, like there are people who started with even smaller companies, even less great companies, I must say. So probably whoever listening to this or seeing this may think wrongly that I am underestimating or undermining TCS. No, it's not like that. It's only that now I came to know the opportunities beyond that. I am saying I could have achieved more.
Absolutely.
Of course, I am satisfied with whatever I achieved. I'm grateful with whatever I got in my life, but I could have done more. Had I been in a better situation in my school, had I been in a better situation in my college, and had I had I had the good teachers like you who are encouraging students to come up and speak about their problems.
See,
If you have a
communication
problem,
skill.
it
Yeah, see, communication skill and especially English communication, whichever field you get into, whether you're going to be a doctor, engineer, or whatever field you get into, it is crucial.
mm,
But it's all the more important, especially if when you're an engineer and maybe you're what do you say, collaborating with for clients from abroad and stuff like that. So, do you think students or engineers who get into work miss out on opportunities for because of not knowing language and English and communication skill?
absolutely. I had colleagues who were not at par, even meaning I'm not undermining them again. Basically, the thing is, whatever is needed for the job, the skills people did not have, or I did not have also, few of them. So from the moment I joined job, I was also like not very good. I was able to manage, but I was not very good. So I realized it probably with the encouragement I got in the past, probably like, okay, I could also improve, right? So I started reading news. I started uh, taking the notes, like not notes, like whichever the word I don't know the meaning about. So I take the special care to see, Google it and see the meaning immediately. Okay. So on a daily basis, it has become a habit to me. Like if I don't know some word, I will just Google it and get to know. So with the years, so my vocabulary also increased. Like I was trying to observe like how the article is written, what are the
Mm.
punctuations, where comma is there, how are they ending a question. So what are the different words, like how to be polite, how to be formal, how to be informal, kind of these things. I only with the observation. I never took any formal training or anything in English. With only the thing which I lacked as a kid, so I wanted to improve.
See
So
now,
this was the care I was used to take.
especially now because of social media and you have so many apps, it's actually easy. It's actually easy for a person if somebody wants to improve their language. It's just with a mentor, the speed will be better and there's a structured approach and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve quickly and easily. And it is a long and tough journey learning the language that it's a foreign language after all. So with a mentor, what happens? You can speed up your learning. So another question I just want to sort of ask you generally, people know it's important and it's required, but still, why do they hesitate what do you say, or hesitate, or they're not as dedicated to learn this? I think maybe their academics or something else also takes precedence over this, and they don't give that much importance. Only when they have to come to the job interview, they realize the importance of it. So why do you think students feel that way? That's one. And number two is, when do you think they should start this journey, this learning of language? See, for example, they must be coming from a regional language school, or they're coming from some rural area. So when is it that they have to say, okay, I'm just going to start my journey of learning?
Okay. Sorry, I missed to answer one particular thing with the previous question, which is like, what are the opportunities we are losing out as an employee?
Yeah.
So that is obvious, because we have to deal with clients at some point of time. We have to attend meetings. We have to prepare some presentations and give presentations at some point of time. So it is very crucial, and you get chosen, based upon your communication skills. Suppose a client visit is happening. It's not like round robin thing, right? Only whoever is going to speak well will be given the opportunity to present something. So definitely there are going to be missed opportunities if you are not improved. Okay. That is for the previous question I missed. So now coming to why we are not doing, probably I would say it comes with the environment. What kind of people are around you? In my college, for example, I did my engineering in college, engineering in my local town. So nobody was speaking in English. So it was not a need. It was not a necessity. It was not a mandate. It is nothing. Like as a kid, we are not very responsible when compared to adult. So that is one thing. So it's nothing wrong from the kid's perspective. Like things are changing. Parents are more aware these days, like what should be learned by the kid, basically. Teachers and colleges are more aware. So it is changing. And of course, India is a developing country. If you see the macro level, it is changing and things will change. And because of these efforts from us also, you are taking an initiative. So with this interview or with this discussion, probably one more perspective. This was not possible at point of time, right? So it's all the environment. Environment is the first place. Then comes the opportunities. Opportunities will not come without environment, of course. So there was no opportunity to speak to my fellow students or to teachers in English because lecturers themselves were not teaching. That was the environment I'm talking about, right? So we were asked to speak in English only in English class. And how much time we get?
But the lectures were given in English, no? Your engineering course subjects
and all? Lectures were given in English, but that's never taken seriously, right? Again, the environment. You don't get anything like lecturing in English. We get only by speaking in English.
That's true.
Isn't it? No, but that's so what I mean.
You didn't have any issue with comprehension. Whatever the professor was saying, you were able to understand.
I was able to understand luckily, but there were many students who couldn't as well.
Yes, because that's another thing I've noticed. One is lack of communication skill, but on the other hand, since they can't understand, it affects their academics also. So if you can't understand what the lecturer is saying, then half the things then how do you cope up with the subjects?
And we see the results and tag them like good student, bad student, and then we put the insecurity in their mind. That's the thing, right? That's what it is basically.
Correct.
Yeah. So first thing I would say is environment, and second thing, since all this media is available at this point of time right now, so students should take cautious efforts to move out of their zones, comfort zones, we call them, like to move out of their zones and change their environment. Start consuming content in YouTube probably. So start watching a movie. If you're watching a movie, you have movie time, then prefer an English movie. see with the subtitles, read them. Or one crazy thing I did, or I don't know how many people did it. When I was learning to speak in English, probably like some period of time, 2-3 years of time. So what I used to do, I used to see the Telugu movie with
In English.
subtitles.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, with
with the
subtitles.
subtitles. So I could comprehend better, like how the same Telugu statement we can put in English, probably. So I saw 2-3 movies with that approach, basically. That really helped. So we should invent something, or according to our circumstances and something, we should definitely move out of that zone and grab the opportunities. We can easily blame, for example. So you can blame the college, you can blame the environment as well. So you can say, no, all my friends are speaking in my mother tongue, so how can I learn? So nobody will be responsible for yourself in future. You have to be responsible for yourself. That's my point.
Absolutely. You have to be an action taker and make sure that you cross this bridge. And yes, of course, we are there. Mentors are there to tell, teach, and help you. And you can sail smoothly. Absolutely. So thank you, Karthik, for this inspiring story. So I'm sure there are students out there, my students, who will say, okay, we're going to take action, get out of your comfort zone. That is the lesson for you today. Yeah,
So
and
it
thanks
is
for your
obvious
time.
that you have to learn. So take steps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you
Yeah.
then. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you very much, Mira. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.